Welcome to a very glittery Bones of Advertising. We are a trio, a posse of three this morning. Welcome, young ladies. Nice to see you. Apologies for Jack Daniels.
No worries. All good. Well, not all good, but we
When
continue.
business calls, we need to tend to thy business. So, okay, I'm interested, Cara. A little lead in from you on what we're going to have a look at today. Thanks. Before we take a peekaboo.
So today we're looking at an ad from Bolter Beer and their new campaign of We Love Good Beer. So let's have a look.
Mate.
How good is beer?
Who said that?
It was me. Over here. I'm a lady down the back. I was just watching a game of darts and sharing a laugh with some mates who look like me.
And me!
G'day, mate.
How's it going? Another type of person you might see, filling up an empty seat for diversity in every beer ad that you see.
We drink beer too.
And me. And me.
So,
I'm an everyman too.
Like her, I am an everyday everyman, ordinary everyday man one can relate to.
I also drink beer too. It's yum.
I also like it.
I like the sound of the beer can when you open it.
Just because I wasn't born here doesn't mean I don't like a frosty brew on any given summer's day.
It goes with curry.
And funny. And spicy bits of meat.
And for every time I don't see a shark at the beach. When you've taken out the rubbish and deserve a little treat.
It's delicious. Just smell the fruity aromatics.
It bursts with personality. It's really charismatic.
I like it warm. I guess that's okay.
Well, I made a special belt. It's got a beer can holster.
The beer for everybody here has got a name.
Oh, sorry.
I still love sharks. I don't love beans.
We love good beer.
Well, that's great, everybody, but who's paying for this round?
Okay.
What do we think?
All right. Well, I'm going to pass to you girls first to provide us with some level of response to that one.
Go for it, Gabs.
That was long. If we just watched the 2-minute, 18-second version, that was long. And I know they've done lots of cut downs. I've watched a few of them. Some of them don't really make sense in a shorter context. Some of them do, depending on how they've cut it. But holistically, I think what they're trying to do is sort of change the beer culture and the traditional thoughts around who drinks beer. And I think that's kind of cool. They're doing something quite different. They're a challenger brand. They're more of a craft style beer. So they're definitely the right brand to be, I guess, taking this route. But yeah, for me, it was just very long and lots of stereotypes in there. And I don't know, it definitely didn't make me want to drink beer, but I guess I'm not the target audience for this type of ad.
Well, aren't you? You're a wine person or a champagne person. So I don't know, I reckon you are the target. They're trying to say to you that it's okay to drink beer.
I know, but for me, I'm not, I don't know. I don't want to drink beer just because, they're saying everyone can drink beer. And yeah, no, I know we're supposed to find something really positive in each of the ads this season. So my positive was, it was quite comical. There were moments of it that did make me giggle when you know, they turned the can around to do the big reveal, and they were a bit delayed and a bit clunky there. That was kind of comical. And when the guy said, "I like it warm," that bit was kind of funny too. But yeah, holistically, it went on forever. And I don't know how effective it's going to be in actually getting people to drink their beer, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have a crack, Caro, unless you want to jump straight in on that.
I don't mind. I think I really liked it. I think it's very on brand for them. They were started by a group of you know, quite famous surfers, which is why old mate Mick Fanning features in it and makes the joke about the shark. It's very Gold Coast, which is where they're kind of based. And I think it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek play at the whole like diversity and inclusiveness as well. I think they, and you know, is that the right thing to make kind of light of that situation? But I liked it. I think it was a kind of low.
I didn't see it as them making fun of it. I saw it as them trying to be
all about it.
Inclusive.
Yeah. I think so, but being like lighthearted. I don't know. Like it was. I liked it. I think they actually did well at doing the cut downs. I think it kind of gave you a snippet into the whole story, and the campaign is running as this kind of bigger story movement. They say that it's, you know, it's not an ad, it's a really, really, really short documentary. So they're having fun with it, which I really liked. I think there were some bits in it that were like quite comical, especially the sound guy, and he hears the opening of the beer, he's like this little kind of these cute little bits.
It is a good
in
sound.
There. It's a great sound. And you know, will it change people's perception of beer and get more people drinking beer? Don't know. Like Canadian Club had a really good play at it as well, of, you know, I'm just not that into beer, which I think was a fantastic campaign. And it gave me the feels of like the big beer ad from Carlton Draft, like trying to bring the song into it and get this kind of war cry going on. So for me, I thought it was quite refreshing. And yeah, that's why I picked it. What about you, Pot?
Well, I'm a little annoyed because the two of you have stolen absolutely everything that I wanted to say. So for me, I think well done to you guys for picking up on all of those aspects. But I think what I thought was clever about it is, if it was a piss take, and I'm not saying it is, and Caro, that was your take on it, Gabs, that wasn't. But I think if it was a piss take on this whole inclusiveness of you have to have every single type of human being in there whatsoever, it was done exceptionally well if it was a piss take. Now, if it wasn't a piss take and they're just saying as a brand that it's for everyone, then I think that was done exceptionally well as well. So they've really got both sides. So for someone that might be a bit cynical, kind of going, oh, for fuck's sake, did they really have to get every single human being in there? You know, was there dogs drinking beer as well? Yeah. And for those that are, you know what, we really do want to have a brand that is super inclusive and that says it's okay to everyone. I think there's some super clever little cues in there, like the music and the song. I'm all about a song in an ad. So I absolutely love that. And I think that was super, super clever. And yes, I am being positive because that's the process of Bones this year. But also, like, if that little sound is another little cue that makes you think of Bolter beer, I just think, what a ripper, what a great idea. Really, really clever. So for me, it's a bit of a hats off, because whichever way you look at it, it's got people talking about it, whether you think they've gone too far on this inclusiveness or whether you think it's a fabulous thing on this inclusiveness. I think it's good because it's got people thinking about it. I did think Mick Fano, and I'm a huge fan. I reckon he's a ripper and he does a lot for a lot of people. But I think his little bit where he's singing about the shark, I mean, I was just pissing myself laughing. I'm like...
It was so good because it was so bad. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it was so, that's right. It was so bad.
Out of tune. And I think the copywriting was brilliant. Like, I picked up one of the lines, which I thought was awesome, was, like her, I'm an everyday, everyman, ordinary, everyday man one can relate to. I'm just like, it's just so Aussie.
That's right. You mean right at the start with the lady in the back?
Yeah, they're like, it's the Indian guy that like pops up and he's like, I'm an everyday, everyone, everyday, ordinary, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yes. Like, I was just bobbing my head the whole time being like, Anyway, it gave me the good feels. Would it make me drink the beer? Don't know. Like I'm pale ale or IPAs and VPAs and whatever they're called. I don't understand that whole concept. But they have branched out into all these other kind of types of beer as well. So yeah, I'd try it. I love their branding. I think their branding's very kind of unbeerish, which as a brand, I think they're trying to be unbeerish too. So for me, it made me smile.
Yeah, definitely made a smile, and nothing's going to stop me drinking Great Northern. But you know what? Good effort, good try. Okay, well, it's time. It's question time.
Yes,
we've had a couple of questions of late, which I think were probably the questions I've posed were a bit lame. So hopefully this one's a good one.
The question is, how do you get your toddler out of a Zoom meeting? Is my question to everyone.
You just rock on, like it's okay. What are you worried about? Just rock on. She's not hurting anyone.
I guess on the same lines of like the diversity and the. Do you want to be included? Okay, it's all about inclusivity, the diversity and the inclusiveness. Do we think that all ads need to start doing it? Like, is it with the whole movement of representing everybody in every way? Do we think it's our charge now in advertising to ensure that all ads are inclusive, or is there place for ads that aren't inclusive? What do you reckon?
Well, I think one of the things, and I guess, Gabs, it's topical for you and I at the moment with one of our larger FMC brands that we're looking at right now as far as segmentation goes. So I think the point is that within a particular market of people you're trying to campaign to, I guess it's important there to be inclusive and to get, every type of human being that we think is a potential to purchase that particular product. Is it important that we have everyone involved in everything? I think the answer is no. Without a doubt, no. And it really does come down to being really clear about the data on who you're trying to provide this product to. Who are we campaigning to? So yes, inclusive within the group set of people that we're campaigning to is really what I would say when you're talking about that. But I think the context of your question, Caro, is really clever, because with what Bolter have done, and I guess with what a lot of brands are doing, they're going so far removed from, what we've seen previously to be completely inclusive. And is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? That's the question, I guess, isn't it?
Yes. What do you think, Gabs?
So for me, I think inclusivity is relative to the brand and the product or the service that you're trying to sell. So if we're selling feminine hygiene products, yes, we're going
probably don't need to know too much about them.
We're going to be inclusive in terms of within that audience that requires that product. So that inclusivity perhaps looks like size, like body size and age and different cultures and backgrounds and ethnicities. But it probably doesn't necessarily look like gender diversity in that specific situation. So I personally feel like inclusivity is required and diversity is required within reason and within, what you would expect to see based on a certain category, product or service in terms of its actual required need for that audience. And then additionally, on top of that, I also think it comes down to brand. So if your brand needs to be seen or, your brand is known for, I guess, having that sort of DNA to it, yes, it's very important. However, if you have a brand where that is not, your top priority, then perhaps is not as important to your target audience. So that's like a really sitting on the fence answer, but
I think it's okay too, though, because I think it's a new space that historically, beer ads have been for men and shampoo's been for women, and it's been really kind of specific in what gender we're talking to or what person we're talking to. But I think in agreement with both of you. It's fit for purpose. Some things are for particular people, and that's okay, I think, as well. I don't think every campaign and every brand has to talk to everyone, because it's just not the nature of products and services. They are specific to people's needs, not necessarily to people's gender. So, you know, I think it's good to be inclusive, but I think if you try and be inclusive when you shouldn't be, I think that can come off, or that can actually have a negative impact really as well.
And
Imagine VB doing it. Sorry, Gabs, you go on.
That's what I was going to touch on, is that some brands are saying that they're being inclusive and they're trying to be inclusive, and when it's not done
Properly,
the perfect,
yeah,
correct way, you can
backfire.
get and have a lot of backlash. Like the ladies in the office yesterday were talking about a clothing brand who say that they've got, body size diversity, but their highest clothing size is like a size 10, and they're only using influencers that go up to a size 10, and they're saying, well, that's not really representative and that's not inclusive. So I think it's like political correctness is something that is becoming much bigger, and something that I know even in our agency and when we're briefed a lot, it's something that we really have to teeter on and be quite careful about.
Yeah, considerate of, I reckon, it's really the point. We've got to make sure that it's a part of our mind. But imagine how could a brand like VB go in this particular space, which traditionally has been a really, a male focused beer. Definitely, I think they've done, if you look back at, some of the creative, it does really appeal to a broad array of human beings as well. So they're not just, white males with, brown hair and beards. It does really traverse right across. So I think you can see it permeating across a bunch of different things. But I wonder how VB would go targeting women. Like, how would that be from a campaign point of view? Who knows? But I guess the point of the exercise is really asking that question about, how important is it right now across everything we do?
I think it will change though as younger generations continue to come through, and perhaps brand loyalists to brands like VB, who are maybe in that older demographic that don't share the same values as younger generations who are coming through and haven't been brought up the way that younger generations are coming through. Like, it might be a generational thing that over time, the word diversity and inclusion, like, that just becomes the new norm. It's not a buzzword or a topic that's even discussed. And I think that's the whole goal and purpose of it, that at some point we don't even have to use those words. It just is the new cultural norm.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, agree. And I think it allows the younger brands to kind of cannibalize the market as well if it's done right. So you might get people like myself that wouldn't drink VB may drink Bolter now. So I think it's going to be an interesting play, like you say, for those older brands that have the history of being, quite gender specific. How, like you said, Craig, how are they going to play in this space? I think it'll be really interesting to watch.
Absolutely. And seeing whether Bolter goes the way of other brands that have been purchased by the multinationals, and ends up
they're
being
owned by CUB now, so we'll see.
Yeah, right.
We'll see if they can stick to their
see whether profit gets in the way of, inclusiveness, or, whether
inclusiveness can mean profit though as well. If you diversify,
that's the question, isn't it? So they're saying that it potentially can, but does it alienate the traditional beer drinker by marketing the beer this way to say it's for everyone? So all of a sudden, the larger portion of the market goes, "It's not for me," because it's not what's gender specific or what's currently being marketed to that particular beer drinker. So it'd be interesting to see, won't it?
Nice.
That, my friends,
good discussion, guys.
Is another edition of the Bones of Advertising. Don't go changing. We'll be back to 4 next week, maybe. Or maybe we'll be 3, maybe even 2. Who knows? We'll see you all next week.
Bye.